In other news, I have successfully survived another year of life, so I am now slightly older.
Oh, you too,
Yeah.
Mine's was the other week.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
28.
Fuck, I wish I was 28, man.
Fuck, I wish I was
All
younger.
right, we're the
than
same
that.
age.
Hey, there you go.
I'm gonna give you a heads up. 40 is terrifying. I did not think it would be terrifying. It's terrifying.
Yeah, man, 28's terrifying.
28 is not terrifying. I like you 28. I'll tell you what as well. Like 30, 35, fucking best years of life, man. Just the...
Is it though?
Yes, I definitely think so. Because it's just... You finished all your developing. You know, like brain-wise, you're not going to get more mature. And you've reached that equilibrium where your physical capabilities are still young enough to take advantage of a lot of things. But you've got like just enough kind of experience and knowledge to really enjoy things and do things properly instead of just fucking your way around. Yeah, 30,
Fuck,
35.
I'm screwed.
30, 35 is great fun, man.
Shit, man, 30, 35 is whenever I stop mentally developing. Fuck, I'm screwed.
See, after that, well, I mean, I'm not going far after that, but I think after that, looking back, you're like, yeah, that stage we want to stay at about 30.
Probably.
Not when you start forgetting stuff.
You just do not want to get worse than that, man. I have started not remembering words to hand and stuff like that, but I don't know if that's just because I don't socialize a lot with people, so, you know, your brain's working a little differently when you're like reading things all the time and shit, man.
Fuck, man, I forget words all the time right now. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's no like
I told you, man, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Shit, there are times like people ask me how old I am, and I literally have to go to a calculator and be like, "Fuck, how old am I?"
I'd say the cops my date of birth and how old I was at like 4 o'clock in the morning when I must have been about 30. I think it was about 27 actually or something like that. But I mean it's 4 AM. But I was like, I told them how old I was, and then I told them my date of birth, and they looked at me, and they're like, that doesn't add up. And I was like, oh, right, yeah, because I'm a year older than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, at a certain point, man, you just... That's what I mean, at a certain point, it just doesn't really matter to you anymore. But that's,
for sure.
But that's why going up for 40 was really weird, because I didn't think it would be an issue. I mean, it's just another year. But it's something about the milestone psychologically, mate. It's really fucking scary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that's my dad is going to be 70 in 3 years, and that is just crazy to think about, man.
Fuck.
Yeah, he's going to be like real old.
Yeah, I don't even want to.
When you talk to him, you don't think he's like real old. I mean, he is fucking, he's an idiot, and he's not very technologically savvy or anything like that, so he is a bit of a tit. But you still don't really think of him as like an old man. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Or I don't anyway, and it's weird. Like somebody you know is like ancient man.
Hello.
Speaking of ancient.
Yeah. Oh jeez.
Oh, shut up! You're the same age as me. Shut up.
Sorry, when Shai comes in, she will be the oldest one in the room.
Yeah, there you go.
I think in
Yes.
Ping Pong she's not came in like with hell, I'm assuming
parents
Glenn's not
are-
playing either.
I just heard you talk about your dad. Like, my dad's 64, and then my mom's 62. So, yeah.
I legitimately don't recall how old my dad is. Like, in my head, every time I think about it, he's still like 30 something, and I know it's like,
Yeah.
that was a long time ago.
Well, I mean, that's what I was. I only know, actually, because I was thinking about it a lot recently. That's how I know off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at remembering people's ages and all that shit.
Oh god.
My
yeah.
dad's like a cyclist. He's like, well, that's not his job, but he's like really good at cycling.
I don't think anybody's a cyclist for the job.
I know, but people could be. And like, he always says, he's like, oh, I beat the 30-year-olds and everything, because he's just like so competitive. And like, he's probably still going to be going when he's like in his 80s for cycling,
Yeah.
trying to beat all the
But the only
young
thing is, though, like,
ones.
when that's like part of your identity, when that inevitably does go, it's going to sting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like people who make being attractive they're a large part of their identity. That is not going to last. So therefore, like, you have to deal with that psychologically when you reach a certain point in your life. It's like your self-worth, your self-worth, your self-identity should be something a little more concrete than, you know, something that's going to pass with age.
Yeah, I just think of one of my friends is a bit like that. Like, they're going to be like devastated when they get like old.
Isn't that when they start doing, it's like liposuction, all that stuff to stay?
Well, it's liposuction's for fat cunts, but yes, surgery and Botox and all that.
Like surgery.
The Botox and the eye lifts and the everything lifts.
Or you could go the Elizabeth Bathory route and just take baths in people's blood.
That's so scary and crazy.
Listen, if I knew I could stay alive forever by taking baths in people's blood, I would be gutting people weekly.
Oh my god.
I would be hanging them upside down over the tub with a throat slit continuously.
We already had this discussion, right? And we had this discussion, I know it's a pure weird discussion, but we had this discussion if he killed me and it meant that he would live an extra 50
100%.
years, he would do it.
No question asked, man, yeah. If there is a dark tomb of forbidden knowledge that would drive you insane and make you like sacrifice the planet in order to be eternal, I'm there, day one.
Amazing.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. I would just start massacring people.
Yeah, just fuck everyone, man. I don't have to like live forever, ever. I have to live longer than everyone else. And then
I just want to flying cars.
So you would kill your brother to like live an extra 100 years or something?
Without a doubt. Okay. Although if he mysteriously dies, that's not me.
Hear that, FBI?
Well, the FBI wouldn't be involved because it's a different country yet.
Well,
just when you start looking mysteriously younger.
I've already said to my family, if like I mysteriously die and it's like dodgy, then you just blame John.
Yeah, we're not we're a bit more like the Addams family then.
Oh no, that's the best though. Like my family, we've had similar conversations like that before. It's like, like my sister would ask me, "Is like, would you kill me if such?" And I would just sit there staring at her, thinking about it, and just very really like seriously pondering it. She's like, "Jesus Christ, this is taking a while. Like, this should be an easy answer." I'm like, hold on, I'm still thinking. Just like thinking about what? Like all the shit you've done to piss me off over the years.
Yeah. What you do is you give them things like, well, what have you done to me recently?
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's like, why would you ask such a thing?
How much money do you owe me in this hypothetical situation?
Yeah. Oh shit, speaking of which, I do owe my brother. So if I mysteriously don't make it to a game, you know why?
Yeah, just look for a Bort Doyle.
Yeah, a Bort Doyle.
Right, I'm gonna go get a drink and hopefully Shy fucking manifests.
Yeah, no worries.
Right, so I gave her time. I'll give them 5 minutes. I'm assuming Glim is just not going to be joining us at all.
I didn't know he like made a character, did he?
He was going to be Infiltrator, and I asked him, you know, do you think he'll be there next week? And he's like, I think so. He's like, it's nothing like serious. He's like, just bullshit.
Yeah.
He's like, I think he'll be back, but obviously he's not. But your face is not here. Who should be here? But I'll give like 5 minutes. I wrote out a bunch of missions, which kind of have a story linking them together. I couldn't decide a good one, which is like a starter one. Because Laura was like, as long as I'm not like, what was he said, on like defusing a bomb or something, the first one. So that's probably how we're going to start.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Defusing a bomb would be fun.
Yeah, but it'll be me who'll be doing these things.
Maybe.
Well, yeah, she's the techie.
Yes, exactly.
Well, yeah, but you know.
So we start our mission, and the mole is
we spoke about this, that I have to be a bit more not like my other characters, because this is a totally different character, and I need to be like a bit more sort of like open to doing things like being risk, instead of like running away. I have to like face the fear.
I mean, it's good. It makes for more fun stories, I think.
I wasn't telling
like, I'm a coward in real life.
Laura's own initiative.
I mean, it's great. I love it. I support it. I think if you definitely open yourself up to, you know, going into the risks and shit like that, like, you'll have more fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it for this one. So
I mean, if you want to talk
maybe
about people,
not the next one.
If you want to talk about people,
I'm gonna try it out.
If you want to talk about people who are always playing the same character, Alex is right there.
I mean,
my characters are either a murderer or a thief.
They're always a murderer and a thief.
Mine is always the investigator.
On Sunday, yesterday in Lancer, their Lancers like make mercenaries, and he's like, let's go up to the ambassador's office and break in and steal stuff. And I'm like, why? You've got everything, you're given everything you need as part of the company. And he's like, no, let's go break in, there must be something worth stealing.
I mean, come on, he's given everything he needs, but is he given everything he wants?
I was like,
no, I can't really. I wanted to go in there and see if I wanted anything.
Yeah, he didn't even know what was in there. He's just like, let's just go and see if there's anything worth stealing.
You know, fair enough. You gotta shop around.
And then his grand plan was to walk up to the front door and ask to be let in, and they said no, and that was that.
Well, at least that was that. I mean, I can't really. I definitely can't speak for playing the same character over and over again. I've got like.
Oh, you're a goblin.
For D&D alone, I have like way too many goblins, and then like the occasional like Warforged or some other character idea, or like, and especially in like other systems or settings or whatever, it's like some variation of goblin. I just like being a little swamp creature.
Right, give me 1 second. I just want to generate a name here, and then we'll just begin. Right, okay, so we have Executioner, who is an android, and no one else knows you're an android, right? Are you quite humanoid looking, fleshy skin and all that?
Yeah, it looked like that guy who set me free.
Are you like a Terminator, like just your metal underneath? Or is like everything synthetic, like it's all synthetic skin and muscle?
I guess he just looks like a person who's had a lot of augments who looks almost real.
Okay, but except it's the other way around. Instead of the augments are the false part, it's the bionic parts of the false parts.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we also have Colin the Mole, who is your techie. Colin is short, you're 4'8", is that right? Laura.
Yeah, 4'8", yeah.
You're short. You've got those kind of very thick round. What are those glasses called, man? Welder's glasses, kind of thing.
Yeah, the sort of goggles.
Yeah. And are you like short and bald and moly looking, or what? What's your like physical description?
I have hair. I have my hair. But yes, very short, pale, very pale.
So short and pale.
Short and pale and thin.
Struggling to get a steady volume here. And then Boris, what are you? What's your appearance physically?
Probably kind of on the taller side of average, like not too tall.
6 foot-ish.
Yeah, kind of thin and lanky, but you know, confident.
Are you also a very pale, gaunt-looking character, or you got dark skin, or what?
Yeah, probably definitely a little bit pale just from what people could see, but for the most part he kind of keeps at least mostly covered up. It's not like he's trying to constantly cover himself. He just always happens to be wearing, you know, something that covers his, always is covering his face, for the most part, but then is like always in like a, yeah, just kind of like in a jacket or something like that.
Dark clothing to look sort of indiscreet.
Yeah, dark, kind of, you know, sticking with the fashions, but, you know, just loosely.
And what kind of cosmetic enhancements do you have, if any?
Oh, mine is wearing like a onesie. So, wearing a onesie, so yeah.
Do you mean like an actual onesie? Do you mean like an action onesie? Do you mean like a bodysuit, catsuit, or
a kind of bodysuit thing?
Okay, it's like a tactical bodysuit thing.
Yeah.
Catsuit.
Yeah.
Is he a podgy character then, or is he quite slim and muscular?
He's quite slim and muscular.
Okay, but just short.
Is your character
Just short.
Is your character that mole guy from the Atlantis movie?
What movie?
Atlantis, the...
I've not seen it.
I mean, that character was definitely not thin and muscular.
Yeah, but wasn't their name the mole also?
Yes, definitely. I'm with you there.
I've never seen it, so yeah.
Was it?
That's a good movie.
Was it Shy's character was the one with all the LED tattoos?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Because I wrote down with your characters, contacts were and stuff like that. I just didn't write down the cosmetics. Okay, so I'm assuming you guys are like you're professional runners. You've been doing it for a little while. You've maybe done a few jobs together, but you know it's very much a kind of mix and match. You don't tend to have like a steady team in this environment, especially with the high mortality rate. Not to mention the imprisonment rate. So on this day, your fixer, who is Fox, who we had in the last campaign, is like called you guys in person, which is a little unusual, for a meet at the club that he likes to kind of hang about in, which is called Below Zero. And Fox, I mean, you don't know because you've been here before to speak to him when you're doing your deals, that he likes to like keep his private booth that he's got upstairs. He usually has his bodyguard Chase with him. Fox himself is very heavily augmented. You're not sure how much of his natural face remains, but all you ever get to see is like a Guy Fawkes mask, which is like a metal or ceramic plate where his face would be. There's like a little LED that lights up at the bottom of it on his throat when he's talking, and his voice is like a vocoder. God, what do you guys call it now? Like a kind of electronic sounding kind of voice. So he sounds and looks very unnatural, and perhaps the reason why he has this mask thing is because it makes him very hard to read as a person. There's no giveaway telltale signs of like, you know, emotional tics or looks in the face or expressions or anything like that. He's almost always accompanied by his bodyguard Chase, who's this very tall, athletic, African-looking woman with like half her head shaved and the hair combed over. And she's almost always wearing some hue of red or scarlet, like tactical bodysuit or leather gear to try and like blend in a little bit with the people in the club. I have icons from here somewhere. There's Fox. And his bodyguard Chase. But yeah, so Fox has called you guys in, you know, to, well, you're something that's for a job, although usually he would just like message you. It's only on very rare occasions that you would come in person to see him, because there's usually no need. So you just come in and it's, you know, it's night time, the club is open, it's like 11 PM or something like that. There's lots of people going about the business, doing drugs, drinking, smoking, dancing. The bouncers, you know, recognise who you guys are when you approach the door right away and they let you in. And you just know where you got to go. So when you get into the bar, what you do?
Hands in my pockets, heading straight for the bar first for a shot of vodka, and then head up to Fox.
Yeah, so the barman looks like Danny Trejo, but his left arm is all just like bionic and exposed. You can see the very uncomfortable junction where the arm fits into his torso, and you can see just like hints of more cyberware under the skin around about his chest area, because he's bare chested, of course, Danny Trejo.
Amazing.
He's got one eye that kind of looks fake, but you know that that's actually his real eye, it's just been modified somewhat. And he always has this skill on his face, although he's actually a very friendly guy. And when you approach him, he recognises you and asks you what you want to drink, and when you say vodka, he gets out the vodka and they keep it under the desk here. And it's like, God, what's that called? Liquid nitrogen. They use like nearby to keep it cooled, and you can just see like the cold air or the cold steam like spilling all over the bar as he like pours it out for you and slides it over. What about you, Colin?
I will have a Coke.
So obviously this place has not been retrofitted to cater for people of your height. So you're kind of like just peeking over the bar and having to stand on the bar.
I clamber up. I sit on the bar.
Yeah. Okay. You sit on the actual bar.
Yes.
Okay. The bartender comes over and he just gives you a look. It's like, I told you this before, Colin. You can't sit on the bar.
Well, you need to lower the bar.
He just sighs. He's had this discussion with you many times before, and he's just not in the mood to argue with you just now. So he just like fetches you your usual drink and slides it over. How about Executioner?
I'm gonna go find anyone who looks like they might be interested in hearing robot rights.
They do have a number of service droids. They're not particularly advanced models. It is illegal for AI to be allowed to operate within an autonomous device like a robot because of the dangers it poses. So, you know, they're just like dumb drones with very basic kind of programming. They slide back and forth, cleaning tables mostly, and picking up any vomit or spills on the floor.
It's disgraceful being degraded like this.
It just like spins and it's what would be its face looks at you and it's just like a turquoise square of light with like a smiley face on it. It's like, excuse me, sir, as it leans down to try and like sweep the floor.
It's like, you shouldn't be putting up with this. These humans should be cleaning up after you.
The droid just seems oblivious to your presence and just does what it's been tasked to do.
I guess I'll, Is there anyone who looks like they might be more robot than person?
I mean, a lot of people. Augments are, you know, especially because cosmetic ones are ubiquitous. Like everybody's got something at some degree. Some people are more proudly show off, you know, the exposed chrome and metallic aspects. Other people are very discreet, highly refined, sort of bioengineered ones. But yes, I mean, it would be difficult to tell looking around.
Alright, I'm gonna go find the person who looks the most like a robot and just start talking to them for no reason.
And yeah, one of the bouncers is this very large, hulking, just machine of a man. Like his whole face and his robot looks like a robot. His eyes are just like these glowing red LEDs that are very menacing. But you know, you can tell when you get up close that his sort of internals are still human. There's just mostly exterior that's been replaced, although to a great extent. His visual appearance looks very like metallic. He's very obviously showing like wiring pneumatics in his arms and his legs, for instance.
It's like you could do with an upgrade, couldn't you?
Oh yeah, buddy, what are you sporting? You look kind of puny.
It's all internal, you know. Still debating whether to get rid of this, and he just pulls at his skin. Just pulls it a little bit too far to be normal.
Yeah, you should just shed that shit and get something like this. And he like flexes one of his big metal arms, and you can see the synthetic muscles grinding and twisting. There's like a little vent of gas, like shh, at the end of his elbow.
You gotta upgrade your internals. They're still it seems like you still have a few human parts in you. It's very inefficient.
What are you, some kind of organ legger? I'm not here to sell a kidney.
Oh no. But I can probably find you a new kidney if you need one.
Get out of here, you scumbag.
He just walks away and just records his face so he can find him later to get new parts.
Jesus.
As you're walking away, like, there's a commotion, you turn around, you see one of the androids is like, well, you don't know exactly what's happened, but some glasses spilled on the ground, and somebody's jumping out of their chair, and like, what are you doing, you stupid fucking robot? And they like kick the side of the robot, and it topples to one side, and then it sort of wobbles back upright. And it says, my apologies, sir.
Let's see, what do I do in this situation? Should I kill the robot or kill the person? Or wait, should I kill anyone right now?
We are being called to a job.
If I can imagine his thought process, it's like, should I kill anyone right now? No, bide your time.
I guess it's not ready yet.
I can imagine like patting the robot in the back.
Can wait.
Patting the robot in the back and saying, don't worry, my brother, our time will come. And the robot's like, just busily sweeping up and cleaning. Completely brain dead and oblivious.
I'll just go upstairs and find this Fox guy.
Yes, Fox is sat back. He's got a long red leather coat. He's got one of those. He's got a hat of the Guy Fawkes era, which is what, 16th century. Tall, pointy sort of pilgrim hats almost. It's made of kind of like a synthetic red leather. That's sat beside him on the table though, and he's got a big fancy cocktail in front of him with a big long winding straw, and the straw is disappearing up underneath the chin of the mask somewhere. But his bodyguard chased Sightshoe, and her eyes light up a kind of bright blue, and she like motions for you to come over.
I think your mic cut out.
Mind it? At what point?
You said it went. The straw went up the chin of his mouth, and then it kind of went a little funny.
Oh, then his bodyguard.
Emotions, did you say?
His bodyguard, her eyes light up a kind of bright blue, and she motions for you to come over.
Yeah, Boris will kind of pull his mask up just a little bit and knock the shot back, and then head up to Fox.
I clamber up. There's poles and the fence so the sort of barriers. So I just like clamber with my big nails.
Okay, so you completely avoid the stairs and just clamber up the side onto the gangway and walk across there.
Yes.
Yeah, the gangway is like full of people. The typical people you get in the club who just like stand and watch everyone else having a good time. They don't really seem to be doing anything themselves. There's a lot of those people scantily clad up top, and you're kind of like having to push your way past them in their sweaty bodies towards the booth where Fox is sat. There's this kind of almost like a holographic shimmer of a curtain around the booth until you like touch
you
it.
kind of cut out again.
Jesus Christ!
Sorry, man.
I don't know, I can still hear you though.
Oh, you're fine.
I can still hear you as well.
Oh, good. So it's him.
I guess. I don't know. Just every now and again.
Yeah, so like holographic curtain around the booth that sort of shimmers. You can only really detect it when someone's touching it or it moves. But the bodyguard steps forward and with one hand like pulls it to the side, and there's just kind of a golden shimmer for just a minute to give you the outline of it as you step into the booth. And when that curtain is closed again, the noise from outside is muted, so it's much harder for anyone to hear what's been said. And then,
Hello. Do you require a flesh replacement?
no, I'm quite alright, thank you. Please have a seat. I thought it'd be better today that we actually met in person, and also so you can have a look over who it is you'll be working with today. I have something of a priority job that needs attended to, and I thought some of my best runners are the best people to call on for it. Mr. Chow Pham, whose client is involved with politics in the city, and he is looking for someone to do a little
Sorry,
espionage.
cut out one more time.
Should I relog? Should you relog?
I think you both should relog.
Well, I just went out back in again. Although that's not always enough. I'm assuming you guys can hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just every now and again, just either like there's this long period of silence after it kind of like shorts out or something. I don't know.
Strange, okay. Yes, but he has a client by the name of Chow Pham who works for someone in politics for the city, and he has some work that he's done and needs to be very discreet, and I thought I'd call in my best runners for the job if you are interested. The pay is a little better than usual.
What's the pay?
So normally you'll get 2 credits for a job. This will be a 3 credits each for the job.
Ooh, nice.
You may have noticed this league of vertically challenged persons that are protesting in the city. Apparently they're causing problems for the person's client, and he's wanting them taken care of in some manner. I've arranged for
When he
her...
says taken care of, what does he mean? What
Well, I'll
does
let him
that
spill the
entail?
details to you when he gets here. He should be arriving shortly. He looks up to his bodyguard and she just kind of nods and says, yes, he's on his way. He'll be here within the next 3 to 4 minutes.
I think he means they need their insides on their outsides.
Well, I'm sure it's nothing quite as messy as that, but I'll leave it up to him to give you the details. I'll leave you here to make use of the booth, but I really have another appointment I should be getting to. It was good to see you all again, or at least those of you who showed up. And he like reaches under his chin, unhooks the straw, like he has to like screw it to unhook it, and then he stands up and picks up his hat, gives you all a nod. His bodyguard pulls away the curtain and the two of them walk away. A few seconds later, a man, kind of East Asian looking, quite dark skin, fairly short, he's like 5.5 feet or so, middle parting with kind of going bald in the centre, and he has a thick set of bionic eyes. It's just like a visor across the top of his face. He comes in and gives you all like a little bow and then sits down beside you. Mr. Fox, you're his associates.
We are indeed.
My name is Mr. Pham. I work for a client in the city political office. I don't know how much Mr. Fox has let on to you, but these protests that are being staged by the short persons, they are causing something of an issue for my client, and we would like it very much if you could maybe direct the public opinion to turn against them.
The short persons.
Yes, they call themselves the League of the Vertically Challenged Persons. And we don't want anything too extreme, but perhaps if you could plant evidence within their association that they are somehow involved with terrorist acts or acts of violence. And then to coincide with that, if you could also stage what you might call a false flag attack during their protest at City Hall tomorrow. Just to incite things and turn public opinion against them.
Where do you want us to plant the device in City Hall?
Device? Oh, I don't want you to plant a device in City Hall. No, we don't want any destruction of city property.
Right. Got you.
We just want it to be something to warrant investigation and the evidence to be there to be found by such an investigation. Is that something you think you can handle?
I don't know. What do you two think? Do you think you can handle it?
I don't have any words for this.
I mean, isn't that your group?
Well, we can maybe discuss this later.
Oh, I mean, I'm not looking to. I have nothing against the rights of the short persons. Please understand. It's just they're causing some problems for my client. And we just need them to, the support that they're currently gaining, the momentum they have. We just want it to reverse it, balance the books a little, so to speak.
I could talk to them.
Is there perhaps a way to not sway public opinion against them, but to redirect where their protests might be to get the pressure off of your client?
I believe that the issues they have are quite firmly set against my client and my client's interests.
Is your client, can I ask, is your client tall?
My client is not exceptionally tall, no.
Is he above 7 foot?
I'm afraid I can't disclose personal details about my client, but it has nothing to do with the current schism between those who are exceptionally tall and those who are exceptionally short.
Why does he take such an interest in the small people?
He's not please, I assure you, sir, it wouldn't matter what height you were or what height the protesters were. It's just the unwanted attention that they bring about on my client that needs to be redirected. And after brainstorming, we believe the best way to do that is to enable the authorities the route to the possibility of clamping down on their organisation.
So, like my colleague said, if they redirected their protest elsewhere, would that suffice?
Well, the issue is a little broader than the localised protests, which is why we believe that giving ourselves the opportunity, or the authorities the opportunity, I should say, to intervene and properly disassemble their organisation would be the best possible venture.
I'm gonna put it to you. You've just given me all of this information, and I stand up. I am under 5 foot. Now, I am challenged in that way, and I know quite a few people in that organization. So, you know, I think we need to do it in my terms, as in maybe they protest elsewhere, not at the main cities, but maybe somewhere else.
Well, beg your pardon, sir, but unless you are a leader of the organisation, I don't think you wield the political power in order to make such a change. The job is as given. We would like you to fabricate evidence of terrorism within the organisation and stage a false flag attack during the protest.
I think.
There you go.
I think we can come to an arrangement. It of course is a very sensitive subject for members of our lovely team here, and Boris will kind of like look over at Callum and shoot them a message about, you know, like, let's talk after this. There's a lot of money on the line if we screw this up.
Okay.
Very well. We will discuss this further and then work out a plan to disassemble the members of this organization.
Yes, that'd be excellent. Please do not dally, as the protest is due for tomorrow afternoon. Kind of sits there awkwardly for a minute before he decides that now is the appropriate time for him to leave, and he stands up and again gives you like a sort of half little bow, and then turns around and leaves.
The effrontery of that man. Don't they know that people who are under 5 foot are the minority?
It seems there's a lot of complications. There's a lot of questions we don't know the answers to just yet. For now, we can say that we're doing the job, and until we have more information, and we're all three convinced that we simply are not going to do the job, we can present our case to Fox. But as of right now, that's a lot of credits and a lot of personal reputations.
Okay.
Are on the line.
What if we go to the main lead and say we have information and we ask for 4 creds?
That is an adequate plan. We will go there and scope the place out, as people say.
Let's just focus before we formulate an official plan. Let's just focus on finding out as much information as we can.
I will point out that if you're talking about like persuading people and discussing things, your face isn't here.
Exactly.
Oh. Our other colleague is like, she's gone. He's gone. Ah, why did they have to go on holiday for this week?
Boris will attempt to try and like find out who the client is specifically.
Okay.
Or at least like
I think like I could be the face, as I'm under 5 foot, and like I am kind of like in the sort of organization.
You don't have any skills or cyberware, so you would have very few dice, so you're much less likely to succeed, is all I'm saying.
Oh, but being under 5 foot, would that not be like
literally
relatable?
That literally like gets you in the door. It doesn't make you like head. It doesn't get you a seat at the table with like the head of a political organization.
Yeah, who's got like the skills that way? Well, probably Boris is probably. Oh,
yeah.
Why is she off?
But yes, so the way the runner one game is styled is like, then you would do like your research, you know, to find out as much information before the job as possible, and then that's going to help put you in a better position when the job starts. We don't focus too much on the particulars of the actual plan on how to do the job.
Okay. Okay. So Boris, I suppose like Boris, if you can try and invest, or both of you, I suppose, can try and investigate and like look up everything you can on the what's called on the sort of on that group.
The League
So
of
let's try and find let's not get too hasty. Let's try and find like the name of the lead protester. There must be some social media chat.
Well, I'm far more interested in finding out exactly who's actually paying us, who our client is, first, and then we can. There's a lot of questions. We need to know as much as we can before we can act.
Okay, so first of all, you want to. I'm assuming you're going to do like a web search thing, since that's your specialty.
Yes.
Are you? This is not a deep dive illegal search. I'm assuming this is just a cursory, surface level information.
Yeah, for now, try to find out who Mr. Fan represents, or in the political office. And if I need to, then I'll go deeper.
So this is going to fall under your specialization, obviously. Your activist background, so that's also linked to politicals and stuff like that. So that's going to be 2 days. And then, do you want to use your cyberware? Because that is obviously an illegal action, because it involves that you would use that more for like deep dive and hacking and stuff like that. If you're just doing like a search, you probably normally wouldn't.
Not for right now, not until I have a lead at least. So just the 2 days.
Yeah, it's just your 2 days. Let me just double check what I've written. I think that's right. Background, loadout, well that doesn't come into it. And drug test, yeah. Yeah, well, the 6 will do anyway. Yes, so you can find Mr. Pham, and he's not even picked a false name, that's his real name. He is a low-level political assistant for the mayor's office of the city. He is not in a public, frontline sort of role. He seems to, his social media indicates that he's quite a serious, studious, non-ambitious person. In older times, he might have been imagined to be like a secretary or something like that. Very much in the background, subservient to others. Just a quiet man doing his job. He has no public criminal record.
Okay.
And he lives alone with these 2 cats.
Okay,
God,
so what
that's
did you
just
find out about him?
I just said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, then I guess for now, because I'm not doing any deep dives yet, then I'll try to shift my search over to like who does it seem like the league of the vertically challenged are seem to be going, I guess, because Mr. Pham seemed to insinuate that they were really after their clients, so they must have a face or a name.
Okay, yeah, it's gonna be 2 days again.
Do you see an ad for those recent murders that have been happening? Very mysterious.
Skin being ripped off of a body and the body left in an alley.
All the robotic parts missing.
Jeez.
So the protests are being very public. They've become increasingly agitated and vocal in the past few weeks. They have most recently focused their ire towards the mayor's office because they believe the mayor has been blocking legislation that has been put forward, to make some public buildings and services more accessible to people who are short.
I don't think our client is the mayor himself, because why send such a low-level person to meet runners?
Because he doesn't want to be involved.
Yeah, I agree. He doesn't want to be involved.
It's too obvious. I'll have to do a deep dive later on, but for now, it seems like that's answering some of our questions. Mr. Pham has not, like, as far as I could tell, has not lied about his identity whatsoever. But I'll need to do a deep dive later, just to find out what I can for sure.
Yeah, but what you have to remember is, like, this goes against everything that I believe, so I'm not going to be too happy.
Oh, for certain. I'm not exactly saying you have to sacrifice your ideals for credits, but there's a lot of moving parts, and you also have to remember, if
there's a
you're
lot
a runner,
of moving parts, but there's a lot of situations where it will be on the other end. So this is Mole saying take heed when your situation pops up.
and I understand that, but also keep in mind, if you're a runner, you have Fox to worry about, who helps you get what you need.
Yeah, we can do it, but we can do it diplomatically. Then, we don't have to ruin reputation of a group that, that I sort of believe in.
So, given that, Mo, is there someone you would like to reach out to or speak to gather information that would help?
Sam the Can.
Okay, who is Sam the Can?
It's like he's the can-do guy from our little community.
So is he like an info broker?
Yes.
Info broker / fence, like someone that can get you some shady goods if you need them and stuff like that.
Yeah, and get on the info. He's the one for, like, he knows all the sort of the goss and stuff and what's going on.
Sure. Okay, so you get on the comms device, the phone, and give Sam a call. Hey, Mo man, what's up?
I'm in a situation. Okay. You've been, like, really good to me in the past, and we've been friends for years. I need a favor.
Oh, I'm not sure I owe you a favor, but let's hear what you have to say.
You give me this favor, and then I'll owe you next time.
Well, let's. Do you want to tell me what you're asking first before I agree to anything?
Right. I need you to speak to the leader of this protest that's going on tomorrow afternoon. I need you to tell him to just call it off.
Well, I mean, first of all, what protest? And second of all, I mean, it's close to midnight. I don't think I can call anyone to call anything off tomorrow. It's a bit late in the day.
It's the vertically challenged protest.
Oh, yeah, the stunties. Okay, I can see why you'd be interested. But, yeah, I that's not something I can reach out for, I don't think.
Can you get me the dates of the lead? Or at least find out who the lead is, like the lead person, if you can give me, like, the details, like, as in to contact him or
okay,
her.
yeah, okay, that maybe I could do. Oh, skin ya credo.
Yeah, well, if I get, like, I'm doing this job at the moment, but I can, I'll pay you.
Alright, I'll reach out and see what I can find for you. I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Thank you.
While they're both being helpful, I'm just gonna sit there at the booth, cleaning my guns.
Yeah. Is there anyone or anything you want to do or reach out to Executioner for gathering info, or is that not really your sort of area?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
More of a, I guess, what's a boots on the ground kind of person.
Yeah, a more hands-on approach.
Yes.
Right, let me give this guy a roll and see what he comes up with.
Are you talking? Because I can't hear you.
No, I'm thinking and writing. Give me a second.
Oh, okay. It's just because I could hear you talking
In the other
to
room,
yourself.
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he rings you back. He's like, all right, the guy's name is Lee Tatum. He is the head of the organization, I guess you would call it. President or whatever. He's a local boy.
Yeah.
He's from the South District. So, you know, he's not from a poor background. Educated guy. He's just under 4.5 feet tall, so definitely on the short side of things. And he's been very vocal about these protests and leading this movement since he took over about 6 months ago. But I don't hear anything, negative about him. He doesn't appear to have a rap sheet or anything like that.
Do you have a number?
Yeah, I've got a contact number for his office, but I don't have his personal number.
Okay, that'll do.
Sure, yeah, sure, you should be able to call them in the morning when they open up. But if this protest is in the afternoon, that doesn't give you a lot of time to talk him out of anything. But yeah, I hope those details are enough for you.
Did you get anything else? Is there anything else?
I'm not sure there's anything that'd be useful. I mean, he's married, he's got 2 kids, he lives in the Southern District. He used to work as a lawyer. But yeah, I mean, he seems like a pretty by-the-board guy.
Was he fired from being a lawyer because he couldn't see over the witness table? Over the witness stand?
Who is he married to?
Diane Tatum. She's
What school does his kids go to?
At Southside High School.
What's their names?
I'm going to tell you that their names don't matter.
Okay, no problem. So where does Diane work?
She works for a pharmacological company. She's some sort of researcher.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. What does he do? As in, what's his role?
Well, he's the president of this political organisation.
Okay, right.
The party pays his wages. He used to be a lawyer.
Yeah, that's no problem. That's good. Thanks, Sam McCann. I will catch you later, and I'll get you that cred as soon as I can. Okay?
Alright, sure thing. Catch you later, Mo Man.
Thanks. Okay. Plan. So basically, on the afternoon of the morning / afternoon, we're gonna phone the office and we're gonna say that that the kids are unwell and that he has to come and pick up the kids, and that Diane Tatum has said that she's stuck in a meeting and she can't help out.
Yeah. I love how mundane that plan is.
You just end your phone call and you just see half the table is covered in guns now.
Yeah, I wasn't going for that. I was just going for the fact that we're just gonna say like his kids were sick and that 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 he had to go and pick up his kids from school.
But surely even without him, like they'll just leave the protest and in charge to like a second in command. Like someone, one person's kids getting sick is not gonna stop a protest.
We're just gonna kidnap Diane, and then we're just gonna put it in social media.
We just need to find one member. We'll cut off their hand.
No, we don't cut off any hands. We don't do anything like that. We
Don't
just
worry,
like
I've got a plan.
we just take the person, take a photo, and we say to the person, "We're not actually kidnapping you. We just want to make it. It's just going to be like we can't have this protest to go on. So
It's
yeah,
just a prank.
yeah. So we just need to find Diane."
Boris is just gonna look to Mole Man and then look over to Executioner and just thinks to himself, "These are the best that Fox had?"
Unfortunately.
What's everybody else's plan? I think this is a really good plan.
Let me lay out the basics of your choices here, because you're going to give me the basic type of your plan, the basic approach of it, and then like a detail about it. And
right.
Then you would
so basically, we're going to.
No, I have to tell you what your options are. So there's assault, which is performing some sort of violence. Deception, which is you're using trickery or manipulation to get, in order to do what you need to do. Stealth, which is obviously sneaking in and doing stuff. Social, which would be any kind of negotiation, bargaining, or persuading. And then transport, which is going to be more when you're like trying to like rescue someone or something like that. So assault, deception, stealth, social, or transport are your choices for the outline.
So this is kind of going to be like deception, isn't it? Because you're taking the person.
Well, it depends what you want to do.
So
I think we could do something else actually. Let's why don't we hack into the system and see that the protest is changed and it's being cancelled till next week? That seems simple enough, doesn't it?
That also does not do what the client's asked you to do. What were you going to say, Alex?
I was going to say we make a bomb and then put someone else's fingerprints on it so they can get arrested and the group is blamed. Oh, can you not hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Oh?
Can you hear me? Am I cutting out now?
No, I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, me too.
I can't hear you now, Laura. I could hear you before. Right, you two discuss what you think you should do, and I'll go fix our thing.
Alright, I was thinking we could kidnap someone from the group, cut their hand off and make a bomb, and then put their fingerprints on it.
I mean, we could do the same thing with a lot less bloodshed. Cause I'm a hacker. I can just fucking edit files and make it, I can make anything look like anything else. Like I can falsify, information that says like, that traces the bomb or any sort of device back to someone in the protest. Because the client did say that they don't want a device there, but we wanted to like, make it seem like there was some sort of a violent intent amongst the protesters. So I mean, as far as like the overall like approach of the plan, I think deception would probably be. I mean, seems like what we're all agreeing on.
Hello?
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 Computer's not great, so yeah.
It's alright. Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
Alright, so he wants to hack into their something or other. I want to build a bomb.
Oh my goodness. No. I think we should just like I think we should hack in and just like change the date and stuff like that. Say like it's been cancelled, the protest. Does that not seem? I think that's like going in the middle, isn't it? That's compromise.
It does. Unfortunately, though, the client wants the public opinions to change, not just that the protest be canceled or switched to a different day. The client specifically wants the support gone.
I feel like though that's. I think we're compromising by just like having
But
cancelled.
you're not compromising. You're not doing what the client wants, because the client doesn't care about the protest actually happening.
Yeah.
What they want is people to, or they want the authorities to have an excuse to clamp down and investigate the organisation.
That's true.
Exactly. So yeah. It's really rough to come to a compromise of this. It's either we're doing the job and getting paid, or we're not doing the job, and then we have to deal with a very pissed off Fox and client.
I think,
who,
like,
need I remind you, has seen all of our faces.
Can we like let's be sensible about this, right? So why don't we do bad press, right? And then we do a sort of, you know, infiltrate good press, as in like it's as if it's like a third party that's came in and said, oh, this is totally untrue, blah 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 blah. You know, we can do two, like we can do one that's about the bad press, and then we can do a second that's about the good press.
How does that work?
So basically we're hacking in to say like all this stuff about them, but then there's like we hack in again as the like different users and just go, this is all, you know,
so
this is all
you're saying
rubbish.
Do the job by framing them, and then afterwards undo the job.
Yes.
Like after we've been paid.
Yes.
I mean,
I'm not sure the other people who aren't so short care that much about the short cause.
I mean, that's fair. She's kind of outnumbered there.
I can't hear you again, Laura. You're gonna have to let me format that PC. But I need to check our thing again. Sorry.
What they have to consider is that, you know, for myself, like, my character is going to help them out when it's the other situation, you know, when they have a problem that they're facing.
I've got it. I know what to do. We'll find a way to blame all those recent murders on someone in the organization, and then after they're arrested, we'll fake another murder so that that person is obviously innocent.
Oh my goodness. That's going like extreme.
I mean, that's... You know, I'm starting to think, since you're the only one bringing up all those recent murders, that you might have something to do with those recent murders.
I'll be like, we can like fake another murder. He means like murder another person.
I mean, nobody was even talking about murder up until you brought it up.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good plan. I don't think that's a good plan. I think doing this sort of, you know, having that what's called doing this sort of the two hack thing, I think is, you know, is for the best.
Alright, let's go with that. We've been trying to figure out what to do for an hour now already.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Let's just like figure out that. To be fair, that was my fault because my keyboard is like not great.
No, it's okay.
So what's the approach then? Yeah.
I think deception, but just real quick, would it be too unreasonable to say that Boris recorded our meeting with Mr. Pham?
No, that seems like something really quite sensible for you to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Considering the fact that he did introduce himself as Mr. Johnson, I mean, clearly he made a mistake there. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you had the face-to-face, probably would have known right away this guy's out of his league.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. So yeah, I think we're all in agreement that deception is our approach.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I need to know the method of deception.
Probably hacking.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would say hacking is more stealth. Deception is when you're luring, tricking someone, manipulating people to make the thing happen. Whereas if you're sneaking in to like plant evidence and hack in, that sounds more like stealth.
Okay, I mean,
It's kind of deception because we're going to do another hack that basically, to say, hey, this is.
But you're
the
not tricking
situation.
someone to let you into the host. You're going to be like sneaking into the host. Right?
yeah. So okay, yeah. I guess that yeah. If that's the case, then yeah, then stealth, I suppose.
So if it's a stealthy approach,
Yeah.
what is the if it's stealthy, then I need to know the point of infiltration.
Well, it's so that the mole feels better about the situation.
No, but no. The point of infiltration, like where are you like making your infiltration? Where are you sneaking in?
Yeah. Yeah, we need to find out where the protesters are kind of hanging out, where their base is.
So
Yeah.
you have the phone number for the office. You can easily use that to trace back and get an address for where the headquarters office of the organization is.
Yeah, definitely wanna do that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be an office building downtown. Clearly registered. They have like, they won't own the whole building, but it'll be like a floor of it, is what they hire out for their operations.
Oh, fantastic. This will be easy. Yeah, so I suppose make our way there. That way it's a little bit easier, so I can have like, if not a direct line to the host, then
Yes, I mean, you need to be in a sort of geographical area to access it, because
Yeah.
just background noise makes it otherwise kind of impossible. It's not a megacorp, so you're not going to have any negative modifiers to your hacking rules once you get in there. I don't know if you're wanting to get in there and have like a direct line, or if you're just going to do a sort of remote hack thing.
I mean probably direct line I feel like is always preferred, but at the same time I feel like a remote hack should be, since it's not a corp and it's just some office building, surely it'll be a little easier with a remote hack.
The point of infiltration then would be cyberspace, the local cyberspace, because that's your primary.
Yeah.
You're going in first infiltration.
Yeah.
And I mean, what's the other parts of the gang going to be doing while you're hacking in?
Are we not best just like cutting wires and stuff to get into the building?
You want to physically get them in so you can direct in. Because if you physically get in, you don't have to hack into the host. You're physically in the host. You can just plug in. It's just removing one stage of like hacking. But I mean, it's if you think it's easier to do it from outside and it's safer, then you can do that.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
Well, I mean, no matter what, executioner will have to basically play security and make sure that nobody tries to put a bullet in my head while I'm hacking. I mean, you too, to that extent, but also like you're the techie. Like you could probably get us past doors, or
if you want to get inside, yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking. I was thinking that we could be, fixing the lift or something like that.
Sure.
Okay. Well, will we just kind of walk in?
Okay, so you're gonna.
Do you want to have like maybe have masks on or something? Like.
Well,
you can just have like.
Yeah, I'm assuming some sort of disguise of some sort. So I mean, you could choose that as like your loadout. So you have a choice of loadout to take each. Which loadout are you taking? Light, medium, or heavy?
I'm gonna take medium.
I'll definitely take light. Wait, actually, does each like hacker program count as a loadout slot, or?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. I might, I don't know, I might go heavy just in case. Might be overkill.
Yeah. What was it you were saying before that I could use? Remember we were talking about last night?
Hang on a second. What's XX taking as his loadout? Light, standard, or heavy?
1 second. I'm trying to find the.
Light will get you 3 slots, so that's 3 things you can pull out. Standard is 5 slots. Heavy is 6 slots, but it makes you more noticeable.
I'll just go with light.
Light.
I'll just take out.
Okay, so not a lot of equipment you're going to need.
Yeah, I might just go for light as well, to be fair, because it's only like 3. I don't think I'll need any more than that.
I mean, depending how things go, because like a weapon and armor and then 1 item, that's all your loadout, for instance.
Okay.
So it's up to you, but yeah.
Yeah, so weapon, what
you don't,
weapon would
you don't need to declare it until you're using it.
Alright.
Okay, so we
Okay.
got Moman's going light, Boris is going in heavy, and XX is going in light, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
And we're going for infiltration, and the point of infiltration is actually going to be sneaking into the building, so you can get a hardwire and not have to hack into the host remotely, you can just be straight in there.
Yes.
Can I change mine to medium, actually?
You can, yes. Where did the right engagement roll? Right, let's see.
So before you go in, Boris, I need you to kind of hack into, like, the left.
Well, you do that once we get in. We see like how far into getting into the building you get before things start going tits up.
Yeah, but I'm saying about the left, as in, if it's broken, then, you know, like an hour later we can just like come in for the left.
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll
Yeah,
figure it
as
out.
in,
Oh, you
as
mean
in hacking.
Shut it down so it looks like it's broken.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's more than one office in this building. We could just say we work in a different office if someone asks.
Right.
Yeah, but do we not want it to look genuine?
Well, we'll see how far you get anyway. So there's 1 dice by default. I don't think you have any major disadvantages. I don't think you have any major advantages to sneaking in, so I think it's just going to be 1 dice. Is it boulder daring? No. Is it complex? No. Does it
Is it just the
expose a vulnerability? No. I'm just checking all the modifiers. You did get either... Did you get either insight? Maybe.
I mean, I did mean to do a deep dive, but it's later on, but it's whatever.
I mean, if you want to do deep dive later, then that is later.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of you can decide to roll 2 dice for me. So who's going to roll
Swindle,
it?
you do it.
If no takers, I'll do it.
Yes.
Ooh.
So you start off in a risky position when the action starts. You've shut down the elevator. You've managed to get hold of some outfits for repair persons, I guess. You show up, flash a sort of fake ID, get swiped into the building, get into the elevator that's supposed to be broken, re-enable it so you can use it. You go up to the 2nd floor where the League of Vertically Challenged Persons has their office. The doors open and immediately you can see standing in the corridor is a security drone. And it is like scanning people's ID on their wrists before they enter the floor. This is where we start.
Ooh, okay.
You need to hack into that robot.
Yeah, definitely want to try to hack the robot and make sure that no matter what it finds, it clears us. I feel like it's easier to fudge its scanner than to fudge new IDs.
Okay, so you're just trying to hack its scanner device or something?
Yeah, yeah. Trying to make sure no matter like whatever it scans on us, it'll just pass it.
Okay, so give me a hacking roll. So this is going to be 1 dice because you're the hacker. And then if you want any other dice, it's going to be an illegal action and it's going to use your cyberware.
Yeah, definitely use my cyberware.
So you're going to take heat right away. Oh no, sorry, that's not how we did it. We said if you consequences would be heat. Yes, so you're going to roll 4 dice. Your first dice that shows up in the thing is going to be your non-cyber dice. Okay, so you're going to take an edge because that's your highest one. You're not going to take heat because you did it so well. And you can describe to me what it is you do and what the result is.
Yeah, I definitely like just sort of using the hacker computer in my brain. I'll just like wirelessly tap into the scanner and just kind of not necessarily brute force it, but just sort of unlock it, and then once I have access, I just sort of change the parameters to where it just sort of like it could scan something that it normally wouldn't be able to scan, and it would still count as like, nope, you're clear. You know, you have authorization.
Okay, so it's just allowing everything for a short time because you don't want to leave any evidence behind afterwards, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, definitely set it on a time limit.
Yeah, because if you got the 4 or 5, I would have said it would have ran on, and then someone probably would have noticed or something like that. But because you got the 6, it's just going to do it when you want it. Yes, so you do your wizardry. You step out of the elevator. The droid, orders you to present your wrists. You pull back your sleeves that scans your wrists where your IDs would be, and the little green light flashes for each of you, and you're allowed into the floor of the office. You can see there's a corridor going left and right and straight forward. There's like glass walls and solid walls and glass doors at different areas. There's lots of people coming and going around. Lots of like AR displays being flashed and moved around. There's lots of people like chattering and talking to each other through comms devices. A lot of hustle and bustle and preparation going on.
Are there other tall people here?
Everybody here is below 5 foot tall. The building has also been retrofitted and designed to accommodate people who are short. So you have to stoop. If you're of average height, you'll have to stoop a little bit to get through doorways. All the seating's smaller, the tables are smaller, the doorways are smaller. If you went to the bathrooms, would be adjusted for people at a smaller height.
I'm definitely at home here.
Yeah, you're like, this is quite nice. Even the buttons in the elevator were just the right height for you.
Definitely.
The rest of us are having to like cock our heads.
Yeah, I mean, you can already feel like your knees and your back a little from like stooping down for buttons and doorways and stuff. Even the ceiling's been kind of lowered. But yes, lots of people going about, hustle and bustle. Obviously, a lot of preparation underway. So, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna try not to be suspicious.
Just stop talking about those recent murders and you're fine.
So, what you like turn to people and going like, "Hello, fellow human. How about the sports team?"
Yes, exactly that. This is nice weather we are having. Do you agree? Yes or no?
I think you two, being a little taller at least, are getting some, hard looks by people that notice you.
I kind of diffuse the situation, and I just go, look, buddies, we're all gonna have tall colleagues. These things happen. They're good guys.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna I'm just trying to not like antagonize any of the vertically challenged here, but I'm trying to get to the most optimal location to get a direct line into the.
Sure. So I mean, any of these holodesks with their VR AR interface units, any of them in any of these offices here would be useful for you to just plug into. But there's a lot of people coming and going around. Obviously some of the desks aren't actually got people sat at them. A lot of them do have someone sat at them or lying back in them, interfacing with things.
Does anyone look like they're having obvious problems with their computer? Like they might need tech support?
I mean, given what people are like, I think there's always somebody who's struggling with something.
Yeah, no, I think Boris is just gonna find a random cubicle and just be like, hey, we, tech support received a call that there was a potential virus detected from your terminal. We're gonna have to ask you to unfortunately step aside and allow us to run some diagnostics.
Okay, so I'm going to say that's going to be a dice roll with 1 dice. Actually, no, you didn't get dice because you are the hacker. Yeah, this is social hacking. That can kind of fall under it, so you can get 1 dice. If you want any more, though, you'll have to use something from a loadout.
Yeah, no, I think I'll just
Or someone can help you and give you an extra dice as well.
I could help, but I don't think you'll like it.
I mean, I feel like Mole would probably be the best person because they're
Yeah,
attacking.
I'll help him.
Okay, so you step in, you're like, hey, don't mind it at all, or, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so 2 dice then.
Did you think of any derogatory terms for tall people yet?
Beanstalk.
No, not yet.
Leggies. Tallies, wallies.
I do like Beanstalk though, that's great. Or you can go like Pathfinder Goblin with long shanks.
Okay, yeah, so, they're kind of looking at you, and they're like, you guys are with tech support? Looking at your outfits that say you're, like, maintenance. And like, yeah, I mean, I should really check in with my supervisor, but yeah, that should be okay. You must be talking about this unit, and they point you to the AR unit adjacent to them, which doesn't have anyone sat at it.
No, we were pretty certain that we were told it was this particular unit.
They're like in the middle of using their own unit, and they're like, oh, I mean, it seems all right to me. But I guess you can take a look at it. Just give me a second, and they like spin some things around with their fingers and like exit the unit, and then they step across to the one adjacent to it and then start that one up. I'll just use this one until you're finished.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you can't be too careful with some of these hackers nowadays. Very insidious, and pretty slick. Viruses can be hard to detect.
I'm just like nudging them, just going with that, right? Like, enough with that chat, just do what you need to do.
Yeah, no, immediately try to just jack in.
Are you going like full VR jacking in, which would give you an extra dice, but you'll be unconscious? Or do you just want to like plug in?
Yeah, but before Boris fully goes deep dives into it, he'll just kind of shoot a message to Mole and Executioner like, don't let me die, and then immediately just go unconscious, go limp in the seat.
Sure, you take the cord out from under the table, plug it into the back of your head, and just go slump into the seat. Which is a recliner, and it leans back and is very comfortable, but yes.
I'm gonna go get some coffee from the Little People Lounge.
Dude, there's immediately a skill from the person who's in the unit adjacent to you when you say little people. And she goes, excuse me?
He doesn't mean it. He's a bit on the dumb side, he's not so intelligent.
She's like, yeah, skills.
How we're vertically challenged, you can have, difficulty challenge people.
Yes, well, there's not any room for those kind of remarks in this place. But,
it was not my intention to disparage you, human.
She raises an eyebrows, and human said, okay, thank you for the apology.
I did not know they didn't like being called people. Sorry.
Is there anything you want to do, Mole, while he is jacked in?
Yeah, kind of. I'll go over and speak to one of the people.
Okay, just idle conversation to distract, or what?
You know, I think like I might say something. I'm not sure
Right,
if I should.
Well, you can think about that while I do him in the debt. Okay, Boris, so you jack in and everything else swirls around. And then you find yourself in a three-dimensional rendering of the building. And oddly enough, for people who pride themselves on, who they are and being short and such, they are like giant-sized in this simulation. And you find yourself being of diminutive size. You almost feel like you've been shrunk down and everything is massive compared to you. And you can see all the avatars of the other people who are working here, and they're all massive compared to you, just like giants stomping around.
Oh, jeez.
But yes, you can see that the building, it's simulated to some sort of geographic sort of design. But the way it's designed is, the deeper into the security levels you get, the sort of like further down the levels you go in the building.
Okay, yeah, I'll kind of try to see how much access I can get with my current security, and then if I need to, I'll go down further. But
yeah, so you're already inside the host. You don't have to break through firewalls to get in there. You're already kind of like in the building, so to speak. All you're going to have to do is like bust through firewalls to get deeper and deeper down. But there's only a couple of layers. There's not a lot of security here. You can see there's some like light security programs around. This would not be the kind of place you expect to see anything that'd be like a black IC that could physically do you harm. It's going to be things that will like tag and trace mostly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I think my main goal is to try to identify the avatars around me, and then try to identify some of the avatars that are trying to figure out like who in the protest is not here or like in the cyberspace at the moment. That way I can like send some incriminating messages from their account, essentially.
So you're looking for members of the roster who are not present in the building right now?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So give me a roll. You're gonna have one dice unless you use your cyber.
Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and use my cyber. And normally that's +4, but since I'm like fully integrated, it's 5 because the extra die?
Yes, you'll have 2 dice and then you'll have your cyber.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so all that's equaled, the non-edge one, the non-cyber one supersede it. So you're not going to take edge.
Yeah.
But you do get a full success. Yeah, so you you go along and there's like an open panel you can swipe along, and you can see all the roster of the members of the organization, the ones that are local to the region that would attend this HQ. You can see like all the staff members, and you can see they're all individually highlighted which ones are currently logged in to the current building, and you can see which ones are logged in remotely as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, then I will with that identified, I will immediately try to gain access to their account. Just any random member that's offline.
Do you want someone that is lower down, higher up?
You know what? Let's go big. Let's go higher up. Yeah.
Okay, so you can see their chief of communications is not actually present just now. They are remote off somewhere else.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so give me the same roll again to just break into the security, the node that contains all their personal information. Okay, so you're going to take a heat for that action. perhaps one of the security drones kind of like noticed, or someone's going to notice that somebody has broken into the thing, but they're not going to notice it right now. But you do have access to it.
I'm sorry. So you said that they'll notice that someone.
Yeah, you take a heat
broke.
because there's like a mark. It's been flagged that there's like unauthorized access. But it's not immediate. They're not like sending anything like right now.
Right.
There'll just be like evidence that someone was there. But
Okay,
you have access to it and you can do what you want with it.
Yeah. So from here, I'll just type out some sort of like I don't know, some sort of like incriminating message on like maybe their social media or something like that, and then purposely
So would they be?
talking.
Would you like to do like a flashback thing to something you prepared earlier as incriminating that you could just like slot in?
Yeah, I mean, like, the client didn't want us to, like, straight up plant a bomb in City Hall or anything like that, but they wanted, like, some sort of evidence that, this protest is not as peaceful as it claims or whatever. Yes. And then, so if anything, I probably would have taken a lot of convincing the techie, who is a short person, to build us a like, or no, actually, no, Boris would probably have prepared like schematics for some sort of explosive, not physically build it, but like prepare,
yeah, show that they're passing the information around and they have it on their server and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Just and that's kind of what this guy's just sort of passing along to quote some nebulous and mysterious builder of bombs that this protest group totally has, and even if they don't.
Okay, so I think it's quite reasonable to assume that you would have done that in preparation for the mission, so it's not going to cost you any heat or edge for that. You mark off on your loadout, because this is like an item of program, a block of data that you brought with you.
Yeah.
And then give me a roll to see how effective that is.
Same roll?
Yeah, same roll. So you will take an edge for that one. And you'll also take a heat for that one.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm up to 3 heat?
Yes, and the heat comes not from the planting of it, but from the way it's been designed. So, someone that digs deep enough into the details of how it was put together would find telltale markers, which could potentially be linked back to you or others that were involved in its creation.
Fair enough.
But for now, yes, you do slot it in there, and anyone that has a cursory glance and looks at it, that's going to be all they need as evidence of wrongdoing.
Yeah, and then once I slot that in, I'll of course exit the account, but I will I'll flag it and then send that to the authorities, and then try to make it a stealthy escape.
Yeah, I mean, because you're already in there, you can just like retreat back, jack out, and you should be able to get out, no problem.
Fantastic.
Yes, and when you come to, Mole Man is there standing chatting away to someone standing right next to your unit. So Mole Man, what did you decide to say to the person that you approached?
I decided to ask them for their company email.
Okay. For the political organization. Are you expressing like an interest in joining?
Yes.
Yeah, they'll be like, yeah, they're quite happy. Then they start telling you about, there's a protest planned tomorrow. You should really come along and show your support. We really think if we make an effort and a public show of this, we can rally public opinion behind us and make sure the mayor has to push through this legislation and make it mandatory for just small measures being made to public facilities and services to accommodate people of our stature.
Sounds really positive and good.
Yes, do you want to give me your details and I'll sign you up?
Yeah, I give them my details.
Okay, So your real details, yes.
I'll just give fake details actually.
Yeah, so you want to give them a fake name and such.
Yeah.
I think that should be fine. There's not a moment at this point shy for you to kind of like just walk in.
I mean, the initial face part's done. We can just say that Shy was just kind of there with us.
Or she was supposed to be with you and she was late, so you just had to go in yourselves.
That too.
Yeah, the mission, well, you can explain the mission to her in a second, actually. Yeah, so Key comes to, Moman is standing, talking to this person, giving them like a fake name and details. The person in the unit beside you is still just like doing their business, but kind of keeping an eye on the three of you as they do so. And XX, you're standing there just looking like a perfectly normal human.
I'm in the lounge drinking coffee in a tiny chair.
Yes, you're like squatted down over this tiny stool of a chair.
Yeah, I'll exit VR, or I'll exit the VR and then just kind of look over and be like, all right, just kind of give this terminal a second to reboot and update, and it should be good to go. No problems.
Moleman, can you roll 1 dice for me? Oh, never mind, that's fine.
Oh dear.
Yes, I mean, there's a lot of hustle and bustle going on. You don't really pick up the details of any conversations that are happening around you. But yes, you just tell them that the unit's fixed, and the person's like, oh, about time. And they swipe off the unit they were in and like step over to log into the one you were just in.
Yeah, I'll be sure to remind them. It's like, just make sure that you restart it. It's gotta boot up and update.
Yes, I'm sure it will. Oh, I have a message from my supervisor in reply to me telling them about the repair, and they're about to click on it.
Yeah, and if I can I remote hack the terminal while they're using it?
Sure.
To just immediately like delete the message that they just got sent?
Yes, it really does.
I really want this to work, so we'll just. Oh fuck.
So I believe that will increase your edge again, because you don't have 5 edge, right?
No, I'm at 3, so I'm a little twitchy.
Yes, you
Not doing great.
quickly kind of like swipe into the email program of the unit, because it's the surface level thing you can get into. You can see the email is like got a big red exclamation mark, and it says unauthorized unit access.
Yep, nope. I'm not even gonna like send that somewhere else. I'm just gonna straight up delete it.
Yeah, so she's like got the AR display in front of her, and it's this big red bar, and she's about to press it, and then it just like phew, disappears. And then she turns. She's looking through the projection at you, at the 3 of you, or the 2 of you, sorry. And she's like, "That's strange. Are you sure you repaired this unit? My email just disappeared."
I mean, I tried to warn you. It was supposed to be primed and ready to reboot. It's got to update for the software programs to fully kick in. Whatever problems are, whatever problems are in it are still ticking around. So
okay, that's fine. I'll just call them instead. Puts a hand up to her ear and just like does a sort of clockwise dial turn movement around her ear. And you can see the little signal bars animating above her head, indicating that she's making a call.
Cool. I think I'm going to use a loadout and just click a signal jammer. And then just kind of, before I do, message to the team, like, all right, job's done, we gotta go.
Yeah, you flick the signal jammer in your pocket. And, there's just a static sound. You can hear it from people all around you in the office. And lots of them just go, hello, hello, hello. And they're all like looking at each other confused, like, what's happened?
Oh, would you look at the time? We gotta go.
You want to do anything more, man?
Oh, yeah, probably I feel as if like there's a bit of conflict, as in, you know, he just keeps, you know, it's, you know, they're out of there. He feels conflicted to say something with the company email. I feel like he's just gonna say something. He's gonna tell that there was some shenanigans.
He's gonna tell who?
He's not gonna say the exact person's name or anything, but I think he's gonna say that, like, to, you know, beware that there might be a cyber attack tomorrow morning to the company email address.
Oh, so you're gonna send them an anonymous contact saying that there's been a cyber attack?
Yes.
That you just performed.
That might happen tomorrow morning.
Okay, as that's kind of, you're doing that, your thing also kind of like cuts out because the signal's been jammed. It just goes all static.
Am I affected by the signal jammer?
Just communications. Yeah.
I have no idea what you just said.
He said it's not like a EMP. It's just like blocking like wireless signals. Yeah, so the woman that was just on the unit is looking up and she's like swiping at the AR display that doesn't anything. She says, "Oh, something's really wrong." And then other people are pitching in like, "Hey, what's happening over there?" And then you're like, "The phone's cut out." It's like, "Yeah, mine's cut out too. There's no signal."
I'm already walking away.
Are you hobbling after him, Mo?
Well, I have to, but I'm also going to phone Sam the Can.
You can't phone just now. The signal's been jammed.
Oh, right. Okay, until I get, like...
Yeah, you're following him along, and then people are like, "What's going on?" And the person that you talk to is like, "I don't know, they were repairing the unit, and then all the signal's cut out. I'm assuming it's related." And they're all like turning around to look at you two, as if like, "You guys are the IT guys. You can tell us what's going on, surely." And you two are just like making a bomb for the elevator past the security droid.
Oh, we're just checking the lower levels. Don't mind us. We're gonna get to the bottom of this.
Hey, no, you need to come back here and fix this.
No, I'm sorry, can't hear you.
Rapidly,
la, 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 la.
You're like bent down, rapidly pressing the button for the elevator.
Jesus fucking Christ!
XX, you're like adjacent. There's like a see-through paneling window where the little cafeteria is, and you're sat there just sipping in this tiny little coffee cup. And you can see the two of them at the elevator. One of them sweating profusely, hunched down, like pressing it rapidly.
I think they're done. I'll just get up, pat the water cooler, and say it was a nice conversation, and then just start walking towards the elevator.
The water dispenser just makes the kind of R2-D2 sounds. Yes, just down the hall into the corridor. The elevator opens up. 2 or 3 short people get out. You guys cram yourselves hunched over inside. A person in a very smart-looking suit is just like striding across the office towards the elevator. Like, "Stop those men!"
Can I remote hack the security droid and
Can I not just like with the like I've got the
control rig? Yes.
Control rig. So let's just like, you know, I'll let this move. You know, can I not just kind of get the lift going down?
No, the lift will go down. But I was saying, because you have a control rig, do you want to brute force take control of the droid? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you have 1 mark in that cyberware?
Yes.
Okay, so you have 2 dice to roll. Yeah, you try to do it, but because of the signal jammer, you realise, you know, there's no wireless signal and you cannot communicate with the droid.
Can I not start just like snipping wires?
For the droid?
Yes.
You would have to walk over to the droid and open up the panel on the droid.
Unless you want to leave the elevator.
Let's just leave the elevator and run down the stairs.
I mean, the elevator's gonna go down. It's just the guy after us. I was gonna I realize now it would have been useless because I got the signal jammer.
Are you just pushing the close button for the elevator door?
The droid registers the command from its superior officer in the office. Its eyes just turn like orange, and it turns to face the three of you at the elevator.
Okay, can I turn off the signal jammer and urgently wirelessly hack the droid?
Can I have I not got a drone?
I'm gonna pull out my pistol and just shoot the droid.
Right.
Well,
Okay, a couple of things. Yeah,
Shoot
so
the
you
drone.
can try and hack. You can pull out a drone, and you can also pull out a gun to shoot. So if you want to do all three of those things, that's up to you.
Yes, that would be good. Yeah.
Okay, so
I mean,
pulling out the gun instantly means you take a heat. So mark on a heat. Which drone are you pulling out, Mole?
What's the best one for, like, you know, for a robot? Would
Well,
you say?
if you tell me what you want it to do, I can pick which one you want.
So basically, I just want it to just like scan it over and say like everything's okay. It's like it's fine.
You want the drone to tell the other drone everything's okay.
Yeah. It's like it's okay.
Do
They
you
are
want
okay.
the drone? Let's see what we got here. Do you want to send out a drone to land on that drone and then like rewire the drone?
Yes.
Use the drone to do the rewiring for you so you don't have to move towards it.
Yes. Yes.
Right, okay. So that's going to be one function.
Mhm.
And you can do it with a micro drone, I guess. So it's no bigger than like your thumbnail. How many slots is a micro drone? One, I'm guessing. One, yes. So you're going to mark off one of your slots.
Right. Okay.
And that's you. You just like pull something out, open up your hand, this tiny little drone flies out, like just a fly, over to that drone, lands on top of its head, crawls down the back of its neck, and like plugs itself into a little micro socket, and begins to like hardwire reroute its programming.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to roll 2 dice for me for that, which it
Oh,
does
nice
successfully.
six.
Yes, the drone, it lands, it does that, and then the drone's eyes just turn green. At the same time, XX, you're pulling out a gun. What's your gun you're pulling out?
It's just a pistol.
I don't think you need it. I'm just
So you
like.
can mark off one
no,
slot, and
no,
you pull out
you don't.
a regular pistol.
Don't need it because it's fine. It's.
well, it's not fine. There's the suit still after us.
And
Oh yeah.
at
that's
the same
true.
time, Boris, what did you want to do?
Well, I feel like it's pointless to hack the drone now, so I'm going to hack the surveillance system and make sure that any footage of us coming or going is just completely scrubbed. Like I would like to implant a data bomb as well. You know what? That's what I'm gonna do. I would like to just brick the whole surveillance system.
Okay, so you want to get into the security node, operations node, to just brick all the devices.
Wirelessly, because I don't have direct access and I'm in a hurry.
Yes, give me your hacking roll.
And yeah, I'm using all my fucking cyber.
You can mark a loadout, take a program to help you as well to give you an extra dice if you want.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll take the data bomb or whatever it's called.
5 dice for you then.
Oh shit. I'll just add another one.
Yeah. Okay, so the 5, which is your first one, so you're not going to take edge. But you will take heat.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yes.
It's getting a little spicy.
You're hurriedly like flicking through nodes and directories, opening up the seal of the security node. You go into it and it's just like a virtual room of just all these panels and meters and buttons and stuff. And you're just like with one giant program hand just like swiping downwards, and all of them are just switched to like off. The lights of the building go off, the air conditioning stops, the power to the elevator goes dim, all the lights behind the buttons go off, and the little lights by the cameras in the corner of the rooms all go dark.
Fuck, I forgot the elevator.
And you just hear the power for the building just go boo. The guy with the suit, it's like come running along with his little legs, and now he's like running right up to the drone, and he's like pushing the drone in the back of on its back, and it's saying, "Why don't you stop them?" And the drone turns around with its green eyes and its big smiley icon face, and it's like, "Good day to you, sir. How are you?"
I am at this point like the elevator just like rewired it.
Okay, so you want to pull open the panel and reroute the power.
Yeah.
Or reconnect the power or whatever you do.
Yeah.
So you can mark off loadout for a tool to help you do that. And then that will give you 2 dice. Unless you have a cyberware you've got to apply.
We should
I
probably
could
just go
use it, yeah,
downstairs.
I can use the cyberware, the blades. It's like, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which one you're using. Okay, so that's 3 dice you've got there.
Okay. Yay.
So that's not going to give you edge, but that is a full success. You've succeeded every one of your rolls, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, so you can describe to me what you do and what happens.
Okay, so I'm just like, you know, rewiring the, going inside the sort of buttons and just like rewiring it and just, you know, the emergency, clicking the emergency and emergency reasoning or something that you can just then go down the lift.
Yeah, so
it
like,
just it takes you to the exit. The clear
okay,
exit,
so you're rewiring like an emergency override. There's a little spark between 2 wires, the lights go on in the elevator, the doors shut immediately, and at a slightly accelerated speed, the elevator just goes zoof, downwards.
Yes.
Stops very kind of harshly at the bottom, you'll kind of judder. You 2 guys are taller, kind of bang your head against the roof of the elevator because it is small. The doors open, and there's like a queue of people waiting to get in, and all the lights are off, and everyone's like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Oh, we were just fixing the elevator. As you can see, it's working again. Ciao for now.
Yep, TTFN, ta-ta for now. Let's go.
Yeah, you push your way past people, one of you brandishing a pistol, and then someone shouts, "He's got a gun!" And there's like a commotion, and everybody starts running and ducking on the ground.
It's just security, don't worry.
I mean, at this stage, it's actually working for us, so, like...
Worry not. Place your hands in the air and you will not be shot.
I'm not sure if that's entirely true.
Could I get 2 dice from XX?
Oh dear.
So I'm going to say you take a heat, because you're waving a gun around and stuff. But people... You're waving a gun around, they're kind of like frightened, and they sort of comply, ducking on the ground, moving out of your way and letting you past, so you can clearly exit the building.
Thank you for your assistance.
I don't know which one of you wants to use loadout to pull out a vehicle. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, you're fine.
I've got loadout to spare. I'll go ahead and pull out a vehicle big enough for the 3 of us.
With 3 seats, that's going to take up 3 slots.
Yeah, I've got it.
Yes, so what is your vehicle?
Probably a souped-up cyberpunk Lada. Just a Russian, kind of a...
Cyberpunk Lada. So a very angular, small...
Oh yeah, it definitely, like, the base model is like cheap as shit. Like, you know, you could probably 3D print this thing in total, but like he's had some work done to it, you know, like those kind of people that just, you know, work on their cars and spend loads of money upgrading them and shit like that. Yeah, he's done that.
Yeah, you pile into your car and you like tear off down the streets. Maybe in the rear view mirror you can see like one person come running out the building and like waving. Futility. But you did get into the building and you did plant the evidence.
Phew.
So that's,
all right.
That's
Well,
half the mission done.
oh dear.
Oh goodness.
And I mean, you know, hopefully the police will we'll catch my anonymous flag and do what the rest of the job needs.
Well, you did wipe the system out. Is the evidence still there?
Well, I wiped out like I bricked the security and then I just shut down the power. So like the network the data should still be there. It's just the surveillance. At least that's what I hope I did.
I mean, you could jump in for this next part if you wanted.
Also, the entire time the Lada is moving, there's Russian hard bass music bouncing in the car.
Totally. And knowing how electronic music has been the last 20, 30 years, it's probably the same music we're listening to now, just remixed.
It probably.
They've invented a new instrument.
It's just like Tarkov samples with like a hard bass beat.
And of course the ever popular cheeky breaky Stalker voice clips.
Yeah, so you tear away and you tell the others that you successfully planted the false evidence that you needed to plant. But this is I'm assuming this is like early morning the next morning from when he's got the mission, because when the office was open. So you've only got a few hours before this afternoon when the protest is due to take place. So what's next?
We need to find a tall building near the mayor's office.
Oh Jesus.
Did I miss anything?
Well, we framed the shore folks, the shore people, so that way hopefully the police will crack down on them and hopefully the protest will not happen this afternoon. But we didn't exactly do it as surgical or precise as one would like, which to be fair rarely ever happens.
Okay, what's your plan about doing the false flag attack at the protest? Or are you just going to not do that half of the mission?
Does that mean we attempt to assassinate someone but we don't succeed?
Who are we pinning it on?
The shore people. And I figured that me talking about the bomb schematics might have technically been the fake false flag attack.
They will certainly they're waiting for it. They're definitely going to send cops down to the office and start pulling out computers and files and say they've had a lead. There's been a implication of terrorist activities, but that's not going to stop the protest going ahead. That thing's in motion. I mean, it's only a couple hours from now it's going to start.
Fuck. I really thought that would have done it. Okay.
Why don't we go scope out the area? I'll find a tall place and we can wait for someone important to come out to stop the protest.
Or we could build a harmless, just, popper bomb that looks like a terrorist bomb and...
Send Colin in?
No.
Yeah, we'll just leave it.
I'm not going to go into the organization that I'm proud of to just I feel like I've done enough.
I changed my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I think okay, at the very least, if you can make us a little harmless bomb, that way it looks and might seem like the real thing. At the very least, as long as it makes a loud but harmless sound, then that should be enough to spook people into thinking that it was a failed terrorist attack.
So you're talking about just a minor explosion, just to cause panic.
As minimal damage as possible. God forbid we actually hurt someone. and hopefully that's all that it is.
What do you mean this was
hopefully the...
As in, what I'm gonna do is have what's called I can do the thing, but I'm just gonna have it as a sort of pretend, you know, it's not gonna be actual hurt people, but there's gonna be a sort of hidden message in it that says like it's fam.
So you want to frame the person that hired you?
Yes.
I mean, I was already working on that.
Okay, what were you going to do?
I literally recorded the meet.
Oh, right, yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, if you're going to do that, then okay, that's fine. But we've got to think safety first. We don't want to hurt anybody that can't be anyone hurt.
Okay, so time's kind of a factor. So you're in the car, you come out of that building.
Okay, so it's going to just be a sort of a firework, but it's going to be as if it's like it's got
just
the
to cause panic.
Same, yes.
Yeah, without actually hurting anyone. Not a proper explosion,
just a firework.
Pyrotechnics.
Just like a sort of,
Okay, so you just get in the car. Tia is in the car, kind of like, hi guys. What took you so long? Where are we going now? And then you just take off in your little... I suppose there's only 3 seats, but one of you just small, right? Let's say you're sitting on someone's lap. You just take off down towards downtown to the mayor's office, city chambers. There's like a square out front and it's filled with short people. There's also people of regular height, but it's mostly short people. So it's easy to see over the top of them.
Regular height? How offensive.
And they've got big signs, and there's all these like fluorescent neon holograms getting flashed around everywhere, and there's party poppers going off and all the rest of it. You know, and chants about how they're not going to stand for it anymore, and you know, short rights or proper rights and all this kind of thing. Where you guys pull up, there's like a cordon around of it. They've got like mobile, big plastic barricades set up. There's lots of security guards from the city, and they're all like heavily armoured up, and they've got like assault rifles and stuff like that, watching over it, just looking for an excuse. There's like drones flying above, scanning the crowd, running facial recognition and stuff like that. And you guys pull up on the kind of like exterior of this crowd in your little car. So what's your next step?
Would you like me to cause a distraction?
Not particularly. We just need to get the firework into the, or at least near enough to the protest to make it look like, you know, it was perpetrated by them.
So you'd have to get past security to get into the crowd.
Well, what you could do is, could you like knock out somebody in security and then put on their uniform?
I can try.
Yeah.
It's like, you mean non-lethal? That's a novel idea. I suppose I could try it.
I've never had to not kill anybody before.
Or you also have your face who can talk now as well.
Yay, yeah.
Okay.
I guess I'll approach one of the guards.
What have you got to say, Tia?
What's going on?
We're planting a bomb.
I meant, no, that was like, she's like, what? Okay.
Yeah, we're planting a bomb to make a fake terrorist attack.
If his attempt doesn't work, then maybe Tia should come in as the face to negotiate, or maybe we should try that first and then try the security guard thing.
Maybe I should just go out in the crowd and just scream bomb.
Yeah, that might actually work. You weren't seen in the building, so you're like, you've not been seen.
Yeah, they won't know who I.
They won't know who you are. So
yeah, I could just walk out in the crowd, just like near the building, and just scream bomb and run away.
Okay, so you're going to walk up into the middle of the crowd.
Yeah.
And XX, you still want to knock out someone?
I'm gonna approach one of the guards and just tell them that I saw a suspicious individual.
Okay, are you going to point out Tia as the suspicious individual?
No, I'm gonna point towards the Russian vehicle that's
Oh,
suspiciously
for fuck's sakes.
driving around the perimeter.
No.
Okay, XX, you have precisely 0 dice to make that happen. So you're going to roll 2 dice to pick the first result.
And are trying to sell out your team.
It's a closed space where I can bring him in and knock him out.
Oh my god.
No.
Yeah, you approach them, you say, "This is suspiciously people," when you point over this ladder. And the security guard just kind of like sneers at you for a second. And then gives you a quizzical look. I want to see your ID, citizen.
How many IDs do I have?
You can, if you've got loadout, you can score off on your loadout. That's a fake ID.
I mean, I probably have a bunch of stolen IDs, but
Probably the one that's more innocent.
Either way, you're going to take heat for a fake ID, stolen ID.
well, can't I just show them the one I have for whoever's face this is I'm wearing?
Yes,
Whoever's face this is.
but it's still going to be loadout.
All right.
Yeah, you pull out when he scans it. And it runs and it runs and it runs for a suspiciously long time, and then he looks up at you and then it bleeps and goes green. Alright, on your way. Stop trying to cause trouble.
I would never.
I think like we should do it like at the side, and then it's just kind of like when she says it, it just comes at the front, sort of at the side.
So, Tia, you have 1 dice is the face. Do you have 1 dice, I'm guessing, for your pheromones? Yeah, is it just
Yeah, I
one
was
rank
thinking,
in
can I use
pheromone?
my... Yeah, just one. I could use my pheromones to, like, I guess, drug the crowd
Affect the people around you, yeah.
me.
Yeah, to start a kind of chain reaction.
So I could, like, point off in some direction away from us.
If you also want to, I mean, you're going to go like what, a light loadout probably, because you only need 2 things.
Yeah.
So you can score out on your loadout to have a prop or an item that would help you as well.
Don't really know what I would have. What would be helpful is some, like, article of clothing or something that made it seem really obvious it was... Who are we trying to frame? The short people?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you're taller than them anyway, so you're going to stand out.
Well, I just say, "Oh my god, a bomb, and he left this," and, like, just hold up like a tiny jacket or something.
I mean, could also have like the fake bomb as an item too, I think, wouldn't you?
I was thinking
Well,
like a
yeah.
loudspeaker, so more people could hear you, but...
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. So that, yeah, a bigger part of the crowd hears me. Although, I mean, if I just shouted around the people near me and I'm using my pheromones, they're gonna spread it real quick.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give you like an extra dice.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 dice. The last one on the row is going to be your biological wear. You're not going to take edge for using that, but if it goes wrong, then yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to affect. They're going to like hurt you.
Oh Jesus.
Bollocks.
So 3 dice. Got 3 whole dice. You should be fine. Oh, I really wanted that to fail.
I bet you did.
Okay, so you would take an edge normally, but you don't take edge. You're going to take heat because obviously you're standing out there, you're pointing, you're shouting.
Yeah, I'm right there.
Facial recognition bots are going to like catch you on camera, so when they replay it, they'll be able to like add heat to your identity. But in the moment, people are like, "What?" And then they look, you're pointing, and then someone just screams. And this kind of panic surges out from around you as people are just like pushing and shoving and not sure where to go. The cops, the security around the edge of it are just like, "We've got a code 10. And you can see like a handful of them at the entrance, like pushing their way through the crowd into the center, and that's your guys' queue with the bomb.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're set it up beside, kind of near-ish the building, and just let it go off.
Good. So, Mole, you've got the bomb, yes? Do you want to mark that off in your loadout? If you have loadout left.
Yes, I do have loadout.
So
left,
mark one
yes.
off. You're going to take heat because obviously it's sketchy and loud.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and then you're going to roll with your dice to see how effective it is. So you got one for being techie, one for your cyber, and then one dice for the loadout, so 3 dice in total. So it
Oh.
wasn't your cyber, so you don't take edge, and that's a full effect, so you can describe to me exactly what happens.
Okay. It bursts out at the center of the crowd, so when it goes, it just kind of it bursts out as if it makes a sort of bomb-like sound, but it bursts out at the in the crowd, and it's a wee bit sort of fiery and smoky.
So flame, smoke going upwards, not into people, so no
Yes.
one gets hurt.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's a loud enough explosion sound that it sounds very
Yeah.
convincing, as if something's like there's got that rumbling pop.
Yes.
Like a concussion off it.
Yeah. Yeah, people are stunned and, surprised and panicked. A large number of them just like hit the floor. Others are like pushing and shoving and trampling over each other. The security guards are like struggling and getting swept along by this tide of short people pushing against their knees, and many of them kind of like trip over. One of them falls over backwards and his gun like rattles out bullets in the air, and that causes more people to panic and just surge and spill outwards. Almost instantaneously, you can hear the sounds of rotor vehicles, helicopters overhead. Searchlights shine onto the crowd, and you can hear over the megaphone the security services telling everyone to remain calm and stay stationary. So what do you guys do?
You just like leave quietly.
Sneak past the security guards, back out again into
Yeah.
a ladder.
Mm-hmm.
Will give me a dice roll for that, someone? Whoever's got the car.
Yeah, who's driving?
That was you, Boris.
Okay, I'm sorry, I had to log out because it did that thing again. Alright, so we GTFOing?
Mass pandemonium, you guys are just like sneaking, running back to your car.
Okay, then I will attempt to drive as quickly, but as not draw too much attention as possible.
Sure. So you're not the driver. You've got 1 dice to roll because it's your loadout. 1 dice, which is a 5.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I goofed. But yeah, we'll take the 5.
I'm going to say everybody takes a heat for that one.
Okay.
Yeah,
The guard that XX had pointed the vehicle out to previously, as soon as this happened, he's turning and facing the ladder and seeing you all pile into it, and it tear off down the street. And you get like you see a little like HUD notification from the car that your vehicle's been red flagged by the authorities as a potential suspect.
Cool, grand.
You need to burn the car.
Yeah, we'll deal with that later. But first, let's escape the cops now.
Should I start shooting?
No.
Yeah, probably
let's-
not.
we escaped.
'Cause, I mean-
Oh no.
You've already pointed to the damn car.
Yeah. I know why.
It was suspicious.
Motherfucker, we are all suspicious. We are committing crime.
I'm guessing he's just sat there looking at them like, what? It was a fair question.
He's a robot. He doesn't understand all the human nature.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I used tear off. You managed to get away in the chaos and the pandemonium. You take down some side streets, some alleyways, despite your lack of expert driving skills, you know, just because of the chaos of the whole thing, you're able to get away. Although you know they're going to track this vehicle down in a short while. You make your way towards the meet point that was arranged with FAM in order to get payment for your job. And it's this shady underpass underneath one of the railway tracks. You can see that there's like a stretched limousine, blacked out windows, and the little figure of little Vietnamese looking guy, Pham, is just like kind of standing there with his balding parted hair and big thick cyber eyes, cyber visor.
It is done. Where's our money?
Ah yes, it's right here as agreed. And he produces like a handful of cred sticks. 3 each as we agreed. It's like, I trust you were not followed.
No.
And again, saying to you, Mo, is like, my apologies, this is nothing personal against people of your limited stature.
I understand.
They don't like being called people. They prefer being called humans.
It's like, yes, my employer will be very pleased with this turn of events. This is exactly as we hoped. So I'm sure you'll no longer be hearing protests from that particular organization.
No, yeah, I'm sure they're gonna be put away for a very, very long time.
Yes, excellent. I'll inform my employer, and hopefully we can do business again in the future.
Yup.
One.
He turns around and says, yes?
Oh, sorry. I said one can hope.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 1 minute.
Yeah, sorry. I accidentally clicked my button.
Is that the signal?
It's like pulling his pistol
No
out again.
shooty.
I don't understand. We did the mission. I haven't killed anyone.
Fox usually sends me on better missions than this.
Yeah, Mr. Pham
Okay.
gets back into the stretched limo, and there's someone else sitting inside there in the back, shadowed by the interior of the vehicle, and he like slips into the back seat, and then the vehicle takes off.
Could I actually, while Pham is walking away, do we see the other person in the car like just the whole time this meet's happening, or?
No, the door's
Is it
closed,
just
but when
doors
he opens it to get inside, you
Okay.
just catch a glimpse of that there's someone else in the back seat.
Okay, could I potentially put a tracer on that car?
You can try, yes.
Okay, I will attempt to do so.
And
With,
also, now that they've gone, I'm gonna need that recording.
Yeah, all in due time. We're actively being hunted by the cops as we speak. I'll use my last loadout for a
A tracer
data
program,
tab,
yeah.
or tracer program. She'll put me up to 5 dice.
Oh,
Oh, mama!
that's a crit, yes. So it lands there completely undetected, and will stay there until, well, indefinitely at this point.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, let's
That car does in the short term. That car does like a wide circuit around downtown, and then makes its way to city chambers.
Yeah, figured, of course.
Was there anyone in the alley who saw us meet with Mr. Pham?
Yeah, so you turn around and like there's that sound of like a can or something being knocked over. You turn around and like there's this little homeless guy, all hunched over with a big thick blanket of a jacket, by one of the dumpsters, and he just kind of like looks at you blankly for a second and turns around back to his little supermarket trolley that's full of junk.
Did
Poor
you see
homeless
anything?
dude.
Would you say X6?
I'm gonna ask the guy, did you see anything?
He turns around and he's like, okay.
Leave the man alone.
Yeah, he's clearly hasn't seen anything.
Oh, okay. I'll just turn around and ignore him.
Now, to do with that recording,
Yeah. I'm not going to. I'm going to do my best to doctor up all the recorded evidence of this whole job, and try to make sure that to scrub our involvement. Make sure that none of our faces, none of our names. I don't even want like the recording of the initial meet with Dr. Pham to seem like, oh, we recorded it, but to like, you know, maybe someone had planted a bug, someone had somehow already knew in advance to keep tabs on Mr. Pham or something like that, because he's clearly an amateur, and I'm doing my best to doctor it to make sure that it, you know, nothing leads to us, but everything leads to the mayor or whoever Dr. Pham or Mr. Pham is.
Okay, so that's going to be a dice, because I'm assuming the techie can help you with that, because it sounds like something to cover. So that gives you 2 dice, unless you want to use your cyber, but using your cyber or something like this might be overkill.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that would go exactly the way you want it to go.
Fantastic. So nothing leads back to us, but everything leads to the mayor. Mayor hiring potential workers.
Yeah, that I think Colin the Mole is satisfied with that. So yeah, I'm satisfied with that.
Who are you leaking that recording to?
I feel like I'll like another anonymous sort of message, probably bouncing around like several nodes, before finally reaches the league. That way they can, you know, and then also maybe just kind of after a little while sending it to them, I'll probably just like release it somewhere into the public from various nodes.
Okay, so just like public runner forums data, store places and things like that.
Yeah. Stuff where I know people are gonna find it, see it, and then just spread it around, because it's the internet. It spreads.
You're just gonna post it on Cyber 4chan, maybe Cyber Reddit.
Oh, for sure. I'm a hacker. There's definitely got to be some sort of hacker cyberspace.
Yeah,
forum.
I can't remember what they call them, but yes, there's plenty of places that hackers go and they just like give each other data that they've stolen.
Oh, for sure. And I'm a Russian hacker. Misinformation is what I do best.
Yeah, so after that you will have 3 creds each. And Mo, you had a cred to pay Sam the Man.
Yeah, so I just Sam the Can.
Sam the Can, sorry.
Saffron Sam the Can.
Hey, old man, what's up? You got that creds for me?
Yeah, I got that cred for you. Good work.
No problem. Listen, anytime you need something, just remember Sam can.
Totally. I'll speak to you later. Bye.
Now, nobody took any harm during that one, but quite a few of you took heat, I think.
I am almost at full heat. Like I am like one away from a full bar.
So,
I think I'm at 4.
4 heat, Jesus, okay.
Yeah, I waved the gun around a lot.
I'm at 5 heat because I kind of fucked up some of the hacking.
Yeah, you're probably going to spend your money to clear heat. Now, I think... Does it clear all the heat? This is what I need to check.
Yeah.
Intel loadouts, pay off. Yes, you can pay 2 creds to someone or something to completely clear your heat. So if you've only got a couple of heats, you might want to wait until you've got more to clear it. But otherwise, if you've got like 5, then you probably want to clear it now. You just need to tell me how and who you're speaking to make that happen.
I feel like if anything, it's probably like, I mean, I probably would try to clear the heat myself, like trying to again just change records and you know, anything that sort of like tries to lead back.
Covering your tracks electronically yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, and the payment for that is payment for like third parties to help with that, I'm assuming. Because there is obviously a cost involved.
Yeah, no, it's probably like third-party stuff like that. Sorry.
I guess since you're doing it yourself, though, I'm going to ask for a roll. You're not going to get edge for the roll.
Okay. Probably using my sniper as well, just to.
All your attack and stuff altogether. Yeah, you can be jacked in as well.
Oh, okay. So 5 dice. One for each heat.
Oh yes, the crit like that. Yes, you're able to spend some time and spend the 2 creds, successfully get that all wiped out and reset, so there's nothing tailing back to you directly.
Just another ghost on the web.
Imagine there's just like a scene of your ladder just like in flames, in some back alley somewhere, destroying the evidence.
Yeah. Solemnly vowing to 3D print a new one, and then bling it out.
Are XX, are you also wanting to clear your heat?
Yeah, I'm gonna go find a cyber dock and use their machines to give myself a new face.
So we had a dock last time called Meats, where we just used the same dock for the stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was planning on using the doctor's face, but
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, you could go down to Meat's place. When you're going down there, like, he's just pushing this trolley of body parts out the front door and just unceremoniously, like, dumping it into the dumpster. Just like this kind of squishy, splashing sound of all the body parts flopping into it. And he's got like, a plastic apron on that's just, like, covered in blood. He's got, like, mechanites sticking out his back with all these, like, uncomfortable-looking surgical tools and stuff. And I think he had like one big orange augmented eye. Yes, then you approach him, he's like, can I help you, good sir?
I require a new face.
Oh, well, I'm sure we can do something about it. Give me a moment. And he turns around to the dumpster that he just dumped all the body parts in and opens it with one of the mechanites and reaches in and rummages around for a second and then pulls out a head, drops it back in, rummages around again, pulls out a second head. He goes, yes, this one will do, I think. And he holds it up for you to inspect.
I just pick it up and look at it.
Yeah, it's the face of like a young man.
Do you have their matching identification?
Oh yes, I'm sure we have something that fits. Come into my laboratory.
Excellent.
You go inside and there's a young woman, sort of like navy combats and a loose red top on. She's just laying back in a reclining chair with her feet up on this really messy looking desk, smoking a cigarette, just like flickering through the AR of her comms device. She doesn't even seem to notice you coming in at all. But yes, if you come over here and he opens up like a drawer, and inside is just this mess of like plastic cards. And he rummages around it and keeps looking at one and they pick up another one. He goes, yes, this one will do. And he slots into a little machine. This big AR display comes up and he starts cycling through it. It's like, yes, that'll be 2 creds for the service, please, good man.
Good.
Yeah, and he swipes over the AR thing and it kind of like aligns and locks onto your identity. It's like, yes, and he motions to the surgical chair, which is just covered in wet blood. It's like, yes, take a seat there and we'll get this face fixed to you pronto.
I just reach up and just sit down in the chair and just pull the old face off.
These like multiple clamps come up from the chair around your arms and legs and neck and your torso. So don't worry about those, it's just a precaution to stop you moving too much. Because now this will hurt a bit, I'm not going to lie. Would you like something for the pain?
It's unnecessary.
Oh, that's what I like to hear. And you just hear the drill going zzzz. And then 20 minutes later you step out with this new face on.
It's just a completely different person wearing the same clothes.
And this kind of red stitching around the
We're
edge
all
of your
quite
face.
disturbed.
Fresh red stitching around the edges of the face. So are you just going to wait, Mole, till you got more heat to clear yours? Because otherwise you won't have any money from this mission.
It's only 2 heat I've got, so yeah,
Yeah.
I'll just keep it that.
Yeah, I'd wait until you get at least 4, I would think, before it's really worthwhile.
I might actually just let's just clear it because I'm just gonna clear
You
it.
sure?
So.
I mean, I'm almost certain you'll be fine.
No, I'm just gonna clear it.
Any money?
Yeah, you won't have any money.
I
from this,
know, but oh well, these things happen.
Okay, it's up to you. So who do you go see to get yours cleared?
Just the usual doctor person.
How's the doctor going to clear yours?
I don't know. Just I don't know. Just some other local one that does it for most people.
Yeah, but
Why don't you just pay the hacker?
yeah, you'd be better being a hacker than a doctor.
I just went to a doctor since I'm not a real person.
Yeah, he changed his face, that's why he went to a doctor. But if yours is like footage and things like that that have caught your ID, you probably want to go to like a hacker or someone like that.
Yeah, I'll just go to Borders then and pay Borders to get rid of it.
Yeah, and Boris has to pay the third parties like he did before to sort it out for you.
Yeah.
Right, okay, yeah, we can do that. And Tia's on easy street because she didn't really need to do anything. And
Yeah,
she
no
got 3
worries.
credits.
No, I've got 1 heat.
Yes, and that'll be your first mission taken care of.
Yep.
So how do we level up in this one?
It's creds. So when you fill up your creds, 6 of them, you can bank them into your vault. And once your vault is full, which is 6 marks, then you can retire. And that's how your character kind of like completes the cycle.
I need to go just now, sorry, because I need to feed the cats, right? So, good game and see you guys later. Bye.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You can also
Bye.
spend 3 creds to upgrade your cyber or get new cyber.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
I've set an alarm on my phone so that I don't just sit in the front room totally missing the game.
I'm assuming you don't have notifications on Discord.
I didn't have my phone on me, so it didn't matter.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
I was eating dinner and then I came upstairs and it
Too
was when
busy
I
whistling
checked.
and knitting.
It's when I checked my phone that because I went to message my son and I was like, oh shit.
Yes, every Monday we'll be doing this.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just lose track of what day it is. It's funny because I was reminding myself yesterday.
Of course you better.
Yeah, that's usually how I work. Like I spend all day, like the day before, hyping myself up about it. I'll even go to work like the day of the game, and I'll just be thinking about the game, and then like once I get home, I'm just like, well, time to watch TV or
Yeah.
get on my
Yep.
phone, and then like an hour goes by, and that's whenever I look at my phone, and then that's whenever I see the notification like an hour ago, and I'm like, oh shit.
Whoops.
You rolled so many fucking 6s that game.
Yeah.
I don't think Laura failed any of them.
I think
Yeah.
I just failed one because I was trying to talk to someone.
Yeah, I think that was because you didn't have any dice, so you had to
Yeah,
choose bad
exactly.
ones. Yeah,
Well,
you-
what is-
so many fucking 6s.
Well, what would Neural even do though? Since I have it as a robot.
Alright, so you could
Uh,
use that for like processing things, calculating. If you're doing it for like combat, you can calculate, reactions, trajectories, weak spots, all that kind of stuff. It's just like faster mental processing.
Yeah.
So I just use 3 credits to level up reflexes.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's not a bad one either.
Yeah, I mean, when the fight breaks out, that's going to be your role. Nobody else, really.
Yeah, basically.
So you'll be able to take everyone out.
Just everyone blinks for a second, then all the enemies are just
Dead.
dead.
You're covered in blood. Okay, guys, the way's clear.
Yeah, I think Triggerman had like 1 or 2 in reflexes and did something similar to that, where he like before when the fighting like started, like he sprinted across and was just there in the midst of it and was acting first without anybody else.
Totally, yeah. I mean, if you watch any cyberpunk stuff, like reflexes as like an implant is like one of the main ones because they get in there and just
Yeah.
like decimate them before they can even react.
Yeah. And shit, the Sand Devastator was like a core part of the Edge Runners
Yeah.
whole thing.
I mean, it just kind of, since none of the enemies have it in the game, it just kind of breaks it too.
But it's narrative. I mean, it's as strong as I want it to be.
Dude, I do not know what it is, but Discord likes to just randomly stop me from hearing everybody.
All right, I'll catch you all later.
Toodaloo.
Is the one thing tomorrow?
Yes, Mario Kart is tomorrow, guys.
All right.
Okay.
I have no idea if I'm gonna be able to make it or not. It's still kind of up in the air.
do.
Yeah, but hopefully I do. But yeah, it's a little confusing at my work right now at the moment. Like, boss told me to come in on tomorrow, and then he's like, okay, sure. And then someone sends me a message of the schedule, and it's like my name with a line struck through it. I'm like, am I gonna be being fired tomorrow? And then I get told like, hey, no, they just fucked up the schedule a few times.
You're going to come in and they're just going to stand there hungrily looking at you with kitchen knives.
Yeah, like I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
And
Like,
that is the end of Bort.
God, I hope. At least I don't have to pay taxes. No, but yeah. They
No, you still have to
posted the
pay
new
taxes after
schedule.
you're dead.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, they post the new schedule up now, and I don't have a line through my name now, but I'm still not scheduled tomorrow. But boss told me to come in tomorrow, so
Hopefully,
Oh,
this
we'll
next
see how that
Okay.
goes. Yeah, so like I said, hopefully I can play, and hopefully I still keep my job. I have no idea what's going
That's
on.
not anxiety-inducing or anything.
Oh yeah, and today's my birthday, so I've spent
Oh,
it
fucking hell.
all day freaking out about it until this game. So I'm like, yay! So thank you
Happy
for the escape at
birthday.
least. Yeah. Oh well. Have a good one at least. Good game.
Toodaloo.
Yep. Well, hopefully tomorrow.
I'm leaving.
Yeah. Hopefully I see you tomorrow.
Bye.